Hello everyone. I hope you have liked the market for last week and see the actions and things were going well with your portfolio. I'm just doing a recap and also insight for the following week on June the 8th and see how things going. So in the previous week, I before I get into the detail, I want to show you about the statistic of the job creations where you can see here's the history and you can look at the pandemic, right? Just to illustrate, these are the data from the United States, America payroll. It will tell you in April, you lost 700,000 jobs in payroll jobs. And then in May, 2020, which is last year, you lost the 20.5 million. This is really where it is when you hear the market and either mainstream or Wall Street telling you that hey, it was 20 some million Americans were out of job. I mean, there were time, which is actually really, really, if you look in the really worst positions around last year of June. Of course, you also have to remember that, I mean, they have different type of data and different statistics, so you have to be careful with that. But at least you get a big picture of this is where majority of jobs were lost, and you can see the creation of a job, which was actually this week was telling saying 559, which is a lot more than the previous week. However, it was still worse off than the forecast, and that's actually somehow see it as a positive news from the market because Fed may not tapering as quickly as you would anticipate. Although there will probably a FOMC note on June 16 to see how whether the Fed going to increase interest rate or decrease asset purchase and so on. And the other one I want to talk about lately, the topic for if you would have invested EV, which you would, if you listen to my previous video, I did talk about XPEVs in particular and also Tesla. Every single we talk about the pricing where they're at, and obviously they got really hammered and beat up lately with cryptocurrency, sliding in a crash from a high $65,000 to 35 or $28,000 at one point. But then this is just give you the idea of what was the prediction in the future of electric vehicle. And if you can see that, I mean, we really what this is where we are at, right? And then we talk about 2025 for most part, where China will say hopefully 25 to 50% of vehicle at that point will be all going to be electric, and that's the largest market in the world. And then the other piece of Europe is sort of proposing around that timeline, right? So that gave you the idea of what is the future production of the vehicle, electric vehicle that going to be growing. And this really clearly paint pictures that it is going to be, see, the passenger EV, which is the wet one. You can see significantly going to predict it in between in the 2030, right, which is like kind of 9 years from now. If this everything is really materialized, you see the demand there. That's why the electric vehicle for long-term perspective definitely is a way to go. I mean, some people obviously want to profit from it by doing day trade options or just short-term trade, but in the long run, I am confident, especially XPEV, it will be hitting that if they just as soon as they turn around the profit to be positive rather than right now they're burning cash on a daily basis. So just I'm just gonna highlight this. I may not read the whole thing, and this just for you can read it along as well. So basically, pick up from a Friday's momentum of previous week. The market continued to move for Tuesday because Monday was a memory holiday, so then no stock market for U.S. where we opened optimism. Energy stock jump as well as U.S. oil price rose to the highest level since October 2018 on best increasing energy demand after OPEC and its alliance reportedly agreed to raise production by about 450,000 barrels per day starting July. So the energy stock, obviously you can see the spike have gone up, and the prediction, if you listen to my previous week video, was about $80 per barrel from JP Morgan. So we are not very far from that at this point, right? That we're actually in the week it hit around $71 for Brent crude, which is higher than slightly few dollars higher than the WTI crude. Normally people talk about WTI crude when they mention about crude prices, but just to let you know, so we're not really far away from that. You think about it. And again, driving season normally will be starting now after Memorial Holiday, and to all the way stretching out to end of August. So just give you the possibility. What I'm trying to say is this, right? Yeah, if oil stock actually have been gone up a lot already, but if there's a few days somehow bad news come around, whatever, and it could be the opportunity for you to buy, but you got to think about it is you may take your 2 months to profit where you want it to be maybe 10-15%, and you got to get out by August, okay? JP Morgan, again, bank, these are just the bank stock were doing well as well for this week. And because of the forecasting, if the interest rate can go up, bank stock normally will be benefit from that. So just to let you know that whether bank stock is overvalued or not, I'm not get into it, but if in general, the way you think about it, interest rate go up, bank stock benefit. That's why you have seen bank stock had quite a bit, like JP Morgan hit 52-week high. Right? And also, obviously, the Goldman Sachs, which do have bank and commercial banking activity in funds, which really hitting the 52-week high, like $335. And the stock I mentioned about a few weeks ago, AI, was up 17% Tuesday after the company announced 5-year extension of its partnership with Shell. The partnership will help accelerate the deployment of enterprise artificial intelligence and machine learning application, the C3 AI suite at Shell and across energy market. The company has become a leader in artificial intelligence application, boosting client both public and private, including the U.S. Air Force, 3M, and Revdol. One item to be noted is that stock IPO at around $42 and 52-week high was $183. If you are looking for long-term investment, and you know that artificial intelligence is the future, we all know that. So this is a stock to be considered. Obviously, I got to tell you, they're not making money today, so they're burning cash again. And the internet giant Pinduoduo, JD.com, and Tencent TCHI rebound after their 50-day lines after a long slide. NIO and Xpeng are leaving their 50-day lines in dust, while rival Tesla seem stuck, right? They were not doing very well, and in fact, this week have been really hit below $600, kind of rebound back a bit. NIO stock leaped 9.6%, Xpeng stock 7%, after report May sales very strong in Tuesday. These were two stocks I recommended a couple of weeks ago, if you go back to listen to my video. With the tariff discussion re-engagement between US and China, there's maybe a sign also Chinese strong economic growth and possible win-win situation. So, Chinese stock may be actually considered buying at this point, assuming, to me, if two break off is not going to be having a deal, what's the point for meeting again? Waste of time. So they probably have something on the pockets and know there's certainly they will reach agreement at the end of the day. So regardless of that, it's making progress. So Chinese stock will be benefit from it. Okay. Oil price pushed to 2018 high on Wednesday, and again this week is only $70. Energy jumped. We all know that, so I'm gonna skip that. And AMC Entertainment Holding, AMC nearly doubled in price. It closed a record high to over $40 a share. In fact, it was hitting at $60-some a share in Good Friday after. Especially Thursday, after AMC said they're going to reissue another $25 million, I think, worth of the stock. And EV stock and Chinese stock again were moving up in the right direction. The Labor Department reported that 385,000 people filed for unemployment insurance, down 20,000 from highway 405,000. Business added 978,000 jobs through May. AMC fell, and still, again, it's still over whatever 1,000%, so still very strong. Tesla share continued to tumble on Thursday. U.S. crude inventory fell by 5.1 million barrels last week, compared with expectation for decrease of 2.4 million barrels. The US dollar trade sharply higher against all the major currency on Thursday, with USD JEP closing about 110. So US dollar gets stronger this week, to put it that way. That's your interpretation. With a fear inflation market was down Thursday, but momentum picked up again due to a strong payroll number. AMC was still in a crazy ride, even though it dropped quite a bit up and down like yo-yo ball. M&A activity was still record high for third straight month in May, and crude edged higher, like I already mentioned that earlier. The Dow jumped Friday as a soft Monday job report for a second month in a row. We knew back that for Federal Reserve, we have to wait longer to abandon its early monetary policy stand. Though job creation beat the previous month, it was worse than the estimate, which again, go back to this graph. I show you that 266 for the 559, and then in April 2nd, it was pretty strong, 916,000, almost a million jobs were created, beating the expectation at that point. And give you some idea that over time actually we'll have a payroll decrease. And again, so we're 10-year, and then what we need to look at is also Powell adjusted unemployment rate, which includes misclassified work and labor, declined by 0.2% to 9.1. Jeffrey is one of the strategists. For those who listen to my video, I really would like you to understand and don't believe in the media about these numbers being reported, because they do revision, and you get different sources like ADP versus payroll, unemployment numbers. They try to confuse you. You add them all together, they may not add up. So, but to paint a picture, also, yes, Biden administration and U.S. government have been always continue to make you believe the low rate and have focused on the low wage work and explain the closure of restaurant, which due to pandemic, right? Activities were, indoor activities and shut down all these outdoor, bars and so on. Well, were reason why they're high unemployment. And suddenly now they say, well, it's reopening, so they flip the story about shortage of neighbors, right? Now, I wouldn't dispute that. Well, some state may be true, like New York, but it's not true for many other city. Okay, so something you listen to the media, you got to be very careful. I always have said that in my video, even what I said to you, you may have to validate on some of the statement I made, right? I heard my other former colleague at company, and one of the energy company, I'm not going to tell you which one, but plan to lay off more workers. And the other thing is this, right? So the people like me, which used to make over $100,000 a year, and now forced to take a pay cut if you want to stay in workforce, right? What it means is, I have this job. I used to have this job. I got pandemic, I got laid off. I've been out of job for so long now, a year. I don't have a choice. I'm spending my savings, so I gotta look for a job. Guess what? I have to take a job like $60,000 a year right now, 40% pay cut, right? So, give you an example. I'm really serious about this. So, if Biden or the administrator or the governor listen to it, they got to understand and work on these numbers. It makes absolutely no sense to American. So, a senior accountant job used to pay $90,000 a year, and now it's going to pay for $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Yeah, if you look, I'm not making this up because I'm looking for jobs right now. And if you go out and research it, you will see that. You will see a job used to be that. And a part of the explanation you can argue, well, $90,000 would be for medium to big company, and a lot of jobs out there which pay $60,000 and even $50,000 a year, they're a small company. Okay, I get that. But hey, the fact is, somebody who used to make 90 now you either leave it or take it, right? Put it that way. Assume you have the skill, and they don't think you're overqualified, and they will hire you for $50,000. Can that person survive, right? That's just something serious question to think about. So this is not something Biden administration focus on. All he keeps saying is $15 minimum range. We have hear that all the time. And don't get me wrong, I do know Walmart, I do know Ross, and McDonald's, many companies, they already even voluntarily say, hey, we're going to raise salary. So they may used to pay, I don't know, $8 or $9 in Texas, for example. They may pump it up to 11, 12. They're not going to pump it to 15, but they're going to do it, look, really $22 out of 9. That's a really significant increase for low wage salary people, because I don't think people in America can really live it up a minimum wage anymore at all. You probably with years actually cannot survive. I think these people will be in debt, or they have a lot of basic needs they can't afford to buy, really, or entertainment. So in addition, you got to think about faced with inflation, right? We all know that. We're not fool. Decrease of purchasing power, that's the definition I use. So the picture is not as rosy as you think, right? I support the delay of tapering. Therefore, for me, I support the delay of tapering of bonds as a purchase increase of interest rate. And it's not just because of pumping the stock market and make the stock market continue profit for the rich people. It's just really in reality, if you don't do that and market crash and everything's get worse and it's just not going to work. I mean, things are already too difficult for these people who have been looking for jobs and, for months. And I'm not making it up because I have few friends, they actually lost their job and still looking for a job at this point, okay? The 10-year U.S. Treasury yield, however, on Friday, fell to 1.56% after this strong data, compared with Thursday 1.62%. Technology stock therefore led the rally in the S&P 500, while mega cap stock pulled the Nasdaq 100 up to a month high. Cruise price again still remains very high to $70 a barrel. So to wrap this up, Dow ended a week for 34,759.79, up 0.66%. Nasdaq ended at 13,814.49, up 0.48%. And S&P 500 ended at 4,229.89, up 0.61%. Very good week. Small cap outperformed this week with FANG and Tesla rebound from the lows. Hopefully, the momentum will continue as well as Yellen on Saturday urged G7 continue to expand and support economy so that the whole global economy going and moving, and also reach the agreement 15% minimum corporate tax. So I think that is quite a success personally. I think, you can say people printing money, creating all this stuff, but in reality, yes, the circulation of money is the power to drive the economy because they all, there's a theory economics for those who are studying that. They know the M1, M2 money and so on. So you're actually tripling the power of every $1 spent, it becomes $3 or more. So government, if Biden's $6 trillion will get passed, which I doubt it, regardless, the market and the stock market and things should get better. This is really what we hope for those people particularly have suffered for the pandemic and became actually a loser. I wouldn't say, because some people really benefit so much from pandemic from an economic perspective versus people were suffering, right? So that's just where, I'm not going to say that, but that's just how people see in America today, like more like socialism, because of that, I would call inequality of wealth. It is not due to because I'm lazy, but because of what happened to the world, right? Or what happened to the U.S. Strong economic, so this is just a wrap up for the insight. Strong economic growth prospect led to cyclical biases. We favor communication, service, energy, financial, energy, material sector, Wells Fargo said. So that's not from me, okay? And we have to caution again the bullish bet that a strong economy will lead stock higher, right? Because again, stock is already very high at this point, so have to be careful about that. Last year, we had this big divergence between what was happening in the economy and what happened in the stock market. Philip Toll, CEO and performance manager, Toll's Asset Management said in the interview with investment.com on Tuesday. I think that's worth paying attention to because there's not necessarily a correlation between the growing economy and a rising stock market, right? Well, I kind of agree with that. Bottom line is that investors need to be careful about stock valuation. You need to be careful with your portfolio and determine your investment strategy. Again, some people very short term, even day trade, some people long term, right? So I cannot, in this video, I cannot say them all because you will be positioning yourself differently with different investment objectives, right? And then for those that are resilient and consistent beating the earning estimate, these are stock great to hold, right? I don't think the valuation will overvalue if they really truly be consistently beating the earnings. What that means is revenue have grown higher and as well as the profitability, okay? You've seen my previous video about stock that I've recommended, so I'm not going to cover it here. You go watch my previous email, kind of support me, Investing, again, is all about managing your risk. So how much you can manage, like AMC, for example, right? If you put money in right now, or say you just like going casino gamble, okay? But if you say, I can put $100 there, gamble, I don't care. If I lose it, I'm fine. then go do it, right? I mean, I'm not saying go do it, but you can do it. You have to just to put money in there, just like cryptocurrency. Even people talk about that different size of that, but my view is, hey, if you go to casino, you pay $500, something you win, something you lose, slot machine, whatever. Okay, you can probably do $500 in cryptocurrency. Just pick, BTC, ETH, Dogecoin, something the media always talk about. You win, you lose. I mean, it's just a game. So if you hear a recommendation from other video, you will also have profit 20%. What it means is, I have already told you AI, I already told you HYLM, I told you XPEV, and the time it was previous week and the week before you would have bought it, which probably should be 2 weeks ago, really, on May 13. May 12, 13 timeline, you buy those, you will have 20+% return, which is less in 2 weeks, right? And even if some stock you do in a week, you still make about 10. Should the market remain strong next week, given the fund managers thinking that they are reshuffle on the Russell realignment and we find over next refinance of June 25th, I think that will be continue to do well, and Russell index as stock and fund manager will be buying more share on existing those new stock on restructuring between, pick up the portfolio and buying different stocks. So the money is still there, which is the good news. The money is not exiting out of the stock market yet. And in July, the window dressing will continue with quarter earnings starting again. So if corporate taxation, which I know it was the fear of the market, right? Decrease of purchase asset from Fed, not yet going to be implemented between now to end of July, and adversely affecting market. And you still have good news like Yellen were pushing through spending, and then Biden the $6 trillion plan. If he can get some money and start the ball rolling a little bit on certain things on the infrastructure, the stock market should be picking up and become more bullish. So I always say this, right? I recommend buy at the dip, which is using 20% decrease of current price. You can do 15, you can do 22 series, but I have seen it. You'll be surprised. Some can go down to 40%, depending on which stock you pick. Okay, and I right now put Tesla buy at $450 to $488. I do have 2 positions there. You may think I'm crazy, but let's watch. These are the one I see opportunity. So just to name a few, CCL, NCL, HYN, BADIS. So again, watch my previous video and you will get some name that you may be considered interested to buy at a dip. And you wonder if you are short term, you definitely will profit and sell if you hit 20%, okay, to 25. Because once 25 you don't hit, I have many incidents that you will see the other way around, flipping very quickly, that 20% just vanish very quickly in few hours, not even in a day. Okay, I hope if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not done so, and send me email if you have any question. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.